Chisato wakes up and Mika calls her. At DA headquarters, Beta, Charlie, and Delta complete their job. Meanwhile, Mika targets Alpha 1. Takina finds a machine gun and uses it to kill the kidnapper. Fuki thinks Takina wants to kill Erika but has doubts. Unsatisfied, Fuki continues to punch Takina in the face. Chisato arrives late and is told to leave the area immediately. DA headquarters instructs Takina to transfer to Café LycoReco as she ignored orders and caused the operation to fail. Upon arrival, Mika introduces Mizuki and himself, and later Chisato joins them. She introduces herself and expresses excitement about her new partner. Kusunoki informs them that over 1,000 guns have disappeared and they need to kill a hacker called Walnut, a famous wizard on the dark web. Chisato and Takina attend school together. Chisato tells the teacher that Takina can speak any language she can speak. Next, they head to Kodagumi, but a worker blocks them. The boss intervenes and says they're guests. Chisato fulfills the boss's orders. Takina tries to use her gun, but finds it's just coffee powder. Chisato explains they're regular customers at the cafe. They leave Kodagumi, and Chisato suggests changing their gear for their next stop at the police station. They rest at a nearby playground where Chisato drinks tomato juice while they discuss dangerous criminals and the DA. Chisato asks Takina to lend her a hand and they both stand up. They head to Oshiage police station and Abe, a regular at the cafe, asks them for a favor and offers payment. They meet Saori Shinohara at a cafe. Saori explains she's been receiving threatening comments and stalks since uploading a photo to social media. Chisato mixes her coffee and starts drinking while chatting with Takina. Saori shows them the photo, which includes a building that had a gas explosion. Takina zooms in and sees the same building from the gun deal. Chisato asks to copy the photo and they leave the cafe. Chisato suggests they stick together for the night and they agree to have a pajama party at Saori's place. Takina keeps Saori safe while Chisato prepares for the party at Café LycoReco. Takina notices a van following them and tells Saori to go ahead. She hides and confronts the terrorists who kidnap Saori. Takina shoots at them and Chisato arrives to help. Chisato instructs Takina to shoot a spy drone and then deals with the terrorist herself. Walnut is surprised they notice the drone and asks Yoshimatsu about the licorice. Yoshimatsu doubts a girl like Chisato is involved in such crimes. Satisfied with Walnut's hack, Yoshimatsu explodes Walnut's house to dig deeper into his business. Back at Café LycoReco, Chisato and Mizuki argue about Saori's picture. Mika asks where the incident happened and Chisato zooms into the picture, revealing the gun deal. Chisato doubts Kusunoki's information and continues arguing with Mizuki. Chisato sees Takina in their work outfit and is impressed. She takes a picture of all the cafe workers and uploads it on social media as @Lyco_Reco. Yoshimatsu arrives at the cafe and calls Mika, who recognizes him. Chisato wakes up to find her living room messy after falling asleep while watching movies. She rushes to work late and finds Yoshimatsu, a regular at Café LycoReco, waiting for her. He gives her a souvenir from Russia and leaves. Meanwhile, Takina removes her medical dressing. Her wound now healed, Chisato prepares bullets for her gun as she and Takina are about to start a mission. Mika has already secured their getaway route. Before they begin, Chisato insists on having lunch on the train. She feeds Takina a boiled egg while they discuss their plan. They switch trains in under 10 minutes to evade potential tails. Kusunoki's assistant reports that the hacker Walnut has faked his death multiple times in the past and has submitted information from LycoReco. Chisato and Takina meet Walnut, who is wearing a squirrel mascot suit. They enter his car, and Chisato is disappointed she doesn't get to drive the supercar herself. Walnut releases the steering wheel, causing the car to overspeed due to Robata's malicious software. Robata plans to drive them into the ocean, but Chisato and Takina shoot his camera, regaining control of the car. Assassins target the group, and a fight ensues. Chisato interrogates one of the assassins about his family dinner plans. Walnut is shot and seemingly killed. Chisato and Takina fail their mission and call for emergency backup. In the ambulance, Walnut removes his mascot head, revealing Mizuki underneath. The real Walnut is Kurumi, who is hiding in the bag. Chisato hugs Kurumi, relieved. Back at LycoReco, Mika prepares dango for the group. Mizuki shows Chisato a cursed photo taken during the mission. Chisato transfers Saori's photo to Kurumi's computer and asks Kurumi and Takina to eat dango together. Takina tries to shoot Chisato with a rubber band, but hits Kurumi instead. In Takina's flashback, she and her previous team are pinned down as Erika is held hostage by enemy gun dealers. Fuki, the team leader, cannot contact DA headquarters due to a hack by Walnut. Their last orders are to stand down and wait, but Takina decides to act. She grabs a light machine gun and shoots the gun dealers, saving Erika but killing the dealers. Chisato asks Takina to open Café LycoReco in the morning. Mizuki sees Kurumi's messy room and sends her a picture from Sayori to analyze. Kurumi works on identifying the assassin from the photo. Mizuki gets annoyed at Kurumi's messiness. Chisato promises Takina a game party, but Takina can't join as the DA might call her back. They head to the DA headquarters to meet Commander Kusunoki. On the train, Takina thinks about talking to the commander, but Chisato doesn't listen and offers Takina a candy, which she rejects. At the DA, other girls know Takina was kicked out for disobeying orders. Chisato gets annoyed by their remarks. Takina goes to firearm training while Chisato meets Fuki, who is renewing her license. Fuki and Chisato challenge each other in a physical fitness test. Chisato finally meets Kusunoki, who denies her license renewal due to unknown reasons involving 1,000 missing guns. Chisato asks Kusunoki to bring Takina back to the DA. Sakura Otome, the second lycoris of the DA from Kyoto, holds hands with Takina, annoying her. Chisato stops Sakura from bullying Takina. Kusunoki rejects Takina's return to the DA. Chisato fights Fuki and Takina runs away. Chisato finds Takina at the fountain and hugs her. The other girls react to their hug. Chisato carries Takina for a moment. Hibana comes to Erika's room, mistaking her for dead. Erika and Hibana go together. Chisato, Fuki, and Sakura participate in an airsoft game. Chisato and Takina win the game. Kusunoki's assistant recognizes Chisato on TV. A car appears at the headquarters, and Chisato asks Takina to go home. Fuki curses Takina and puts medical dressing on her cheek. Hibana jokes with Erika about Takina's return. Chisato gives Takina a candy, and Takina smiles for the first time. Chisato receives a message from her teacher. Chisato and Takina head back to LycoReco. Chisato and Takina enjoy shooting training, but Chisato struggles to hit the target. Takina, with only ammo left, reloads her magazine and starts firing, successfully hitting the red target like a machine. Meanwhile, Kurumi and Mika watch them from LycoReco. Before entering the cafe, Takina hears Chisato yelling in rage after losing a game. Takina tries a VR game, impressing Chisato with her skills. Fuki loses the game and Sakura takes her turn. Chisato and Fuki irritate each other, while Kurumi tries to catch a glimpse of Takina's panties. Chisato remembers what Takina wears and mistakes her for a man after seeing her underwear. Mika tells Takina to supply clothing for the cafe, including her boxers. Chisato leaves the cafe and asks Takina to wear plain clothes for their shopping trip the next day. The following day, Takina arrives in different clothes, and Chisato notices her bag is for a gun. They go shopping, with Chisato excited for Takina to choose her clothes. Kurumi takes a bath, and Mizuki peeks at her. Mizuki helps Kurumi out of the bath, and Kurumi uses an electric fan with her voice. They discuss how the markets did not change prices. Mika asks the girls to prepare for work, but Kurumi is terrible at her job. Takina tries on various outfits, with the final one being a hat with a black ribbon, a gray t-shirt with 4 black buttons, and a white skirt. Chisato and Takina visit an underwear store where Takina asks Chisato if she would like her underwear. Chisato blushes and Takina takes her to a private room to show her underwear. After purchasing boxers, they go to bonbons for a snack. Chisato orders 2 desserts and speaks French with the other customers. Takina enjoys her dessert, smiling and looking up at the sky. A white bird flies by. Kurumi explores terrorists in a building using VR but struggles to reach their faces. At Aqua Park, Chisato reveals her annual pass and they discover many fish. Chisato sways in public and Takina mistakes her for a lycoris. They laugh together and participate in a fish and eel activity before heading to Penguin Island. Meanwhile, Yoshimatsu, the bartender, doesn't remember Chisato and Mika tells him to look for her. A green-haired terrorist named Majima prepares his weapon at Kita Oshiaga Station. Chisato sees lycoris girls and the detectives cross the entrance line for Majima's investigation. Majima and other terrorists start firing but miss. The lycoris girls fire back and Majima detonates an explosive to escape. Takina becomes reckless without her lycoris and Chisato takes her home. The next day, Chisato throws out a boxer and accidentally lifts her skirt, revealing her boxers to Mizuki. Mizuki tries to hurt Chisato and Takina blushes after showing her underwear. Mizuki jokes about Chisato showing her boxers to everyone and uses an electric fan to expose them. And Mika receives a call from Kusunoki about missing guns. Takina laughs while watching them. After the post-credit scene, Majima successfully escapes the station and searches for news about the accident. Robota calls Majima, claiming to be the best hacker. Majima hangs up and plans to start the tower. A month later, Kurumi watches the news on TV and eats cookies while Takina does laundry. The news announces that the station remains closed, with the president confirming no injuries or casualties. Chisato requests a job and details the client, a 72-year-old Japanese man whose wife and child were murdered. He has lived in the United States and is now in danger. Chisato struggles to read amyotrophic, so Kurumi reads it instead. Takina explains that the word means the client cannot move on his own. Chisato knows he has a terminal illness. Team LycoReco will be his bodyguard, though Mizuki is unsure about his role. The next day, the client arrives at LycoReco. Chisato prepares a Tokyo Super Tour production for Matsushita. Kurumi scans a data file from Matsushita. Chisato makes a heart hand sign indicating that Matsushita has a pacemaker. Kurumi completes the scanning and Matsushita reads the results. Chisato carries Matsushita for a Tokyo sightseeing tour. She tells Takina to accompany them and Mizuki to prepare a car. On a boat, Takina, Chisato, and Matsushita view the Sumida ward area. Matsushita visits Tokyo for the first time, having made a promise with his daughter. Chisato teaches Matsushita about the history of Furai Jinmon Gate. Meanwhile, 2 detectives find a bullet from the terrorism incident and the police search for them. The detectives escape from the subway station. Chisato calls Abe for assistance. Chisato, Takina, and Matsushita enjoy a festival, taking pictures. Kurumi controls the camera to see them, and Chisato shoots all the prizes. Kurumi peeks at Chisato's necklace, asking Mika about Chisato's mission. Matsushita questions Chisato about the highest tower, and Kuboku. Matsushita rests inside after feeling tired. Takina buys 2 colas from a vending machine and shares one with Chisato. An assassin named Jin sees them in a boat and follows them. Kurumi finds Jin using a camera and knows his nickname, Silent Jin. Mika calls Chisato, personally knowing the assassin. Mizuki confirms Jin is 30 meters ahead but hasn't revealed his face yet. Jin shoots Kurumi's camera and Mizuki catches it. Kurumi changes the plan and Chisato understands. Mizuki lacks the ability to run. Jin punches Mizuki, kidnaps her, and stomps on a wireless device. Kurumi rebuilds the camera and throws it outside. Takina decides to leave the mission when Mizuki loses contact. She follows Jin into a building, knowing Mizuki has placed a transmitter. Kurumi sees Jin behind Takina. Takina fires at Jin, revealing his coat is bulletproof. An employee rescues Mizuki, untying her and giving her a phone. Mika calls Chisato when Mizuki is safe, but Matsushita wanders off without Chisato. Takina sees Jin take off his coat. Chisato finds Matsushita, who reveals that his family was killed. Kurumi informs Chisato that Jin has gone off track. Takina stops Jin from shooting Matsushita, bumping him into a building construction. Takina's gun goes missing and she runs away. 2 men see the assassin and call the police. Takina calls Chisato to evacuate Matsushita. Matsushita requests Chisato kill Jin. Mizuki takes care of the old man, but he moves again without her. Jin shoots Takina's leg and blood comes out. Chisato shoots Jin, dodges his attack, reloads her ammo, punches his chest, and finally defeats him. The mission is completed and Matsushita seemingly shuts down. In the late afternoon, Jin returns from a car, revealing that he is the client. 3 weeks ago, a woman paid him with cash. Jin asks Mika about his leg. Mizuki reveals that the client was drug-addicted and couldn't move or talk on his own. Kurumi finds a third-party connection through the internet. Yoshimatsu reveals that the client controls the wheelchair, goggles, and voice speakers. In the evening, 2 assassins walk on their own, and a girl from Lycoris follows one trying to shoot him. Majima bumps into the Lycoris with a car, and many assassins shoot at her. The camera moves up due to the violence. In the late evening, Chisato lies on the floor, discussing the earlier events with Takina. Takina lays her head on Chisato's chest. Chisato recoils at first, but relaxes after Takina claims no one else is around. Takina confirms Chisato's heart doesn't beat, and Chisato says it's pretty cool. Kusunoki and her assistant announce that the agents will be on alert in Mode S due to several attacks on Lycoris. Takina calls Chisato to inform her that 4 Lycoris have been assaulted. Takina goes to Chisato's house and decides to stay there for their safety. She sleeps with Chisato at night. Chisato follows Takina to her room. Takina works on their schedule for the week and challenges Chisato to a game of rock, paper, scissors. After the challenge, Takina writes a chore schedule for herself. Meanwhile, at LycoReco, Kurumi takes a slice of watermelon without permission. Mizuki doesn't notice this while slicing another watermelon. Mizuki sees Kurumi and asks what she's doing. The 2 fight during work. Mika asks Kurumi to help with cyber warfare, and Kurumi bites into the watermelon. Chisato and Takina arrive at LycoReco. Mizuki mentions the DA, but they are not part of it. Mika calls Kusunoki to help prevent DA injuries. Kurumi rolls around on the floor. Robata teaches Majima about Spider Lily and shows him a picture of Chisato. Majima doesn't know about the top-class girl from Lycoris. He smacks the table with his burger, scattering 4 smartphones. 2 men grab Robata and demand to know the DA's location. They toss Robata outside. Robata calls Hinagama from the Allen Institute. Yoshimatsu encourages Robata to do his best. Robata sends a nameless message to Walnut, believing Walnut is dead. He accepts a call from a hacker who cracks radiata from the DA system. Robata has a bad idea. The DA headquarters investigates and detects a level 3 hack. Kusunoki calls the police and they capture the hacker. Robata sees the news on the internet. Kurumi downloads the information and Mizuki asks her to hack the DA. After eating, Kurumi wants more food. 2 days later, Robata still doesn't know the DA's location and Majima gets angry. He finds Chisato and Takina going home using his camera. Chisato laughs evilly at the chore schedule. 2 assassins trespass on Chisato's house without using a key. Chisato's phone receives an emergency alert about the trespassers. Chisato starts firing and tosses the 2 assassins into the garbage. She plans to buy a new window and explains that her house is a safe house. In the past, Lilybell, a boy version of Lycoris, came to her house and they were scary. Meanwhile, Robata deals with the girl from Lycoris and Majima is interested. Majima bangs on Robata's door and the 2 men grab him again. Majima points his gun at Robata and almost shoots him until the lights switch off. Majima sees the top Lycoris and plans to defeat her tomorrow. Kurumi finds that the guns were hacked. She doesn't know how to identify the Lycoris. Takina still cannot win the rock, paper, scissors challenge. Mizuki and Mika explain that rock, paper, scissors is against Chisato. Chisato wears plain clothes under her Lycoris uniform and plans to make a delivery to the boss. Takina also delivers and takes off her left side hair from her pigtails. She looks forward to dinner. Kurumi rushes to show all employees the DA footage. Kurumi reveals that she only attacked the DA instead of hacking. She shows a picture of Chisato on the delivery. Mika thinks this is a bad idea. Meanwhile, at the delivery, Chisato receives a call from Mika informing her that the enemy is targeting her. Chisato is bumped by a yellow car. Takina heads over to the Yakuza office. Kurumi looks for Chisato with a camera. Majima looks at Chisato's necklace from the Allen Institute before she wakes up. Chisato stands up, tosses her poncho, and starts shooting. She runs away as a few assassins chase her. Robata reaches Chisato's corner, and Majima discovers red crystals. The assassins can't find them, but Robata marks the map with Chisato's location. Chisato annoys Majima, who shoots at her but misses. Chisato shoots at a vehicle and Majima. Takina picks up Chisato's poncho and smartphone. Kurumi hacks into cameras and Mizuki drives to Chisato's location. The fight starts, and Majima grabs a weapon, spitting blood at her. The assassins cheer for Majima. Kurumi finds Chisato's location. After Majima defeats Chisato, he asks her about her necklace. Takina shoots a few assassins from hide-and-seek. Chisato picks up her weapon and shoots, but Majima dodges. Chisato and Takina quickly ride in Miyuki's car. Robata hacks into another car. Mizuki turns left quickly to avoid a hit. Majima uses the hacker's car, and an assassin with a rocket launcher targets Miyuki's car. Kurumi attacks the assassin using a controller, but the rocket is already launched and hits the hacker's car, causing an explosion. The mission ends. Takina gets pissed at Kurumi. Mika recovers Chisato from a minor injury. Kurumi apologizes properly to Takina for the conversation during the mission. Takina plans to capture Majima, and Kurumi starts researching his name. Meanwhile, Majima confronts Robata again to get more information on Lycoris. Dr. Yamagishi recovers Chisato from an injury, and her eyes are weak. Chisato plans to live with Takina and challenges her again to rock, paper, scissors. Takina wins for the first time. Chisato and Takina draw a suspect's portrait to show Kusunoki and her assistant. Chisato laughs at Takina's drawing, comparing it to a manga. Fuki draws a realistic portrait but confuses the others. Sakura recommends Lycoris for art as well. Majima remembers Chisato from their previous mission and wonders why she's dodging him. Both recognize each other. Chisato informs the customers that Abe will visit LycoReco tomorrow during lunch break. Kurumi knows the manga artist and drafts her storyboard. The customers look forward to the board game party. Chisato laughs at Kurumi again, and Takina gets annoyed with Chisato's teasing. Chisato needs a break, so Mizuki forces her to take a 1-minute rest. Chisato sees Mika's phone schedule and notices that lunch is over. Mika asks her to switch the sign, but Chisato heads to the bathroom to think first. She thinks about the bar forbidden and groans. After switching the sign to open, she acts strangely until evening when she switches it back to closed. Mizuki enjoys drinking after closing the cafe. Takina and Mizuki worry about Chisato's strange behavior. Mizuki admits she misses the old man, and Chisato explains that LycoReco faces a closure crisis. Mizuki checks that the person is gone and tells Chisato not to peek at other smartphones. Kurumi blames Takina for liking her underwear, and Takina recognizes her commander, Kusunoki. Chisato plans to bring Takina back to DA, but Takina misunderstands. Mizuki knows that DA might be a small operation without a first Lycoris, but Chisato still feels lonely without Takina. Kurumi slips her tongue at Takina and Mizuki giggles. Team LycoReco is fired up, and Kurumi solves the internet automatic search program to show images of bar forbidden when a search engine restricts it or forbids it. Mizuki suggests Kurumi work in other places, but Chisato and Mizuki disagree. Meanwhile, Robota finds information about Chisato's battle logs and Majima knows about the radio tower incident. Majima pulls out his gun and Robota reveals that Lycoris deleted all terrorists. Majima laughs evilly and Chisato does the same. He points his gun at the laptop and the transfer completes. Robota removes the USB and acknowledges DA's system. Majima praises Robota as the best hacker, and Robota doesn't think to go against DA's AI. Majima needs to plug into the chief's computer, and Robota agrees with his plan. Robota works hard on his plan for 5 minutes. DA finds 21 incidents in Tokyo, and Radiata confirms them through multiple cameras. It begins multiple deployments. Charlie, another Lycoris from outside headquarters, arrives at point F7 but cannot confirm the target. Kusunoki finds dummy footage and brings it back to Lycoris. Majima checks if Lycoris is coming, and a policeman from Oshiage Station tells him not to bring his toys. The assassins target the policeman and fire. The next morning, Fuki and Sakura arrive at LycoReco. Sakura turns off the TV and Fuki looks at Kurumi knowing she is from DA. Fuki borrows Kurumi's laptop and finds footage from the police station. She hides her face when Mika approaches. Sakura orders a matcha dango set and Fuki doesn't order anything. Fuki yells at Chisato and Sakura leaves her dango uneaten. Kurumi lends her laptop and they find vandalism reading "I challenge you" Lycoris. DA confirms that Majima is real and Fuki and Sakura return. Sakura teases Fuki about always eating dango, and Fuki attacks her. At night, Takina boils udon for Mizuki and Chisato. Mika leaves LycoReco for a meeting and asks the girls to lock up. The girls rush but find the udon when Mika returns. Mizuki follows Mika's directions and Chisato and Takina are ready too. Chisato fixes her hair and remembers her necklace. Kurumi also follows the directions to Bar Forbidden. Chisato and Takina enter a high-class bar using fake names, Noriko Wasabi and Taro Kabayaki. Kurumi laughs at their fake names. They follow the target, and Mizuki is careful when entering the bar. A server offers drinks, but Chisato and Takina can't drink alcohol because they are underage. Mika appears in the high-class bar, and Kurumi treats it as a date on the camera. Yoshimatsu arrives, and Chisato and Takina hide. Mika and Yoshimatsu cheer and drink together. Chisato watches them and accidentally catches a glimpse of her teacher and Yoshimatsu. She wants to walk to Yoshimatsu, but decides to wait outside. Takina removes her hair tie and uses the elevator. Chisato calls Yoshimatsu by his last name, but he can't admit it due to the rules. Kurumi discriminates against those who deny her ID, and she punches Mizuki in the stomach. Yoshimatsu and Mika talk on the elevator, and Mika tells Chisato to stay for a while. Meanwhile, on the elevator, Mika mentions Jin and decides to let Chisato be free. Yoshimatsu knows about the past and decides to leave the high-class bar. Takina talks to him briefly, and Yoshimatsu says he doesn't belong to Chisato. Chisato plays with her necklace before her teacher returns and wonders why she didn't tell him about it. Mika apologizes to Chisato for his promise. The next day, Chisato is not at the cafe, and Ito is not joining because of the manga editor. Takina receives Ito for drinking. Mizuki wears a weird outfit and goes to a high-class bar, but Kurumi has already deleted Mizuki's ID. Chisato finally arrives at the cafe. Takina asks Chisato to change clothes and get ready for business. Ito hugs Chisato before Takina gets mad. After the post-credit scene, Chisato takes off her necklace and puts it inside the cabinet. Majima wonders about all the missions and plans the next tower assault. He left a USB during his assault to hack DA's database. Hinagama serves Yoshimatsu a drink, and he thanks her, commenting that it is delicious. Hinagama aspires to be a chef, showcasing her talent. She prepares her things and looks for a picture of Chisato. Yoshimatsu tells her how to handle the situation but makes no promises. Chisato orders for several people but confuses the order, ending up with a parfait. She decides to finish the leftovers from Mizuki's drink as Abe suggested. Chisato announces 3 specials called Chisato Special for the customers. Takina worries that the cafe will go into the red due to Chisato's spending on expensive bullets and parfaits, reminding her of Kusunoki. Chisato grins and Takina agrees to take care of the finances from now on. During their first mission, Chisato shoots 2 terrorists but also breaks windows, resulting in a cleaner coming and a loss of money. In the second mission, Chisato reduces her shooting and Takina ties her up to prevent her from wasting bullets. Takina believes that Chisato's excessive shooting will not help LycoReco's budget. She tells Mizuki not to open up the fridge door to save electricity. Mika counts the cash slowly, but Takina wants her to be faster. Kurumi nearly drops the plates, but Takina catches them. After cleaning the chalkboard, Takina is tired. At another bartender, Takina tries to cut a time bomb, but it doesn't work. Chisato and Takina refuse to pay first. Chisato steals another gun and switches to a normal one, and then shoots the enemy. She gives the gun to another person who shoots her, but the bullet is out of reach. Chisato is known for acting like she's in a movie. They successfully complete the mission and pay up. At the cafe, Takina has an idea to create a new parfait called Hot Chocolate Parfait, shocking Mizuki. Chisato remains silent but seems to approve. The cafe becomes popular and Kurumi looks for tweets about them, finding they are trending. Chisato asks Kurumi for help and Kurumi performs a spy action, getting a parfait. Several girl customers find it cute. Kurumi's age is secret and she smirks at the customers' reactions. LycoReco becomes overworked and Mika asks Mizuki to answer the phone. Dr. Yamagishi calls for Chisato, but she is not available because the cafe is busy. During Japanese lesson, Chisato acts out animal expressions like a dog and a cat, and the students imitate her. Takina asks Chisato to do a handstand, and Chisato chokes Takina as a joke. Takina requests that Chisato do more work. After receiving her money, Chisato says she will come back later and gives candy to the children. The children take all the money. LycoReco's budget increases, and Mika enjoys listening to music while Mizuki uses the dishwasher, and Kurumi works on the IT revolution. Kurumi and Takina check the daily stock market. Takina grabs Chisato's phone to call Dr. Yamagishi and tell her to go for a physical. Goto visits the cafe and asks where Chisato is. Kurumi dresses Chisato in an outfit for the IT revolution, and Takina is shocked when she sees the tweed, noting the resemblance. Takina decides to stop serving the parfait due to critical tweets. She receives a call from Dr. Yamagishi informing her that Chisato is not at the cafe. Takina calls Chisato on her phone, but Majima is pointing his gun at Chisato. Chisato asks Majima if she can call Takina on her phone. She talks to Takina for a brief moment before the call ends. Majima discusses Chisato's information, but she cannot reveal her heart secret. Majima reveals that Chisato likes action movies, and they discuss her favorite character and the last scene. Chisato decides to make 2 coffees in one. Majima tastes his coffee, but finds it too hot, so Chisato throws ice onto it to cool it down. Majima remembers Chisato from the past, specifically the radio tower incident. In the past, people on the west side heard that a DA student was arriving. Majima and other terrorists shot at the student from above, breaking Majima's glasses. He focuses on the girl running under the big clock. A terrorist throws grenades from above, detonating and killing everyone except one person. Young Chisato dodges and shoots all the terrorists. A terrorist asks Majima if they should detonate the radio tower now, and this story ends. Chisato now remembers Majima from the past. Majima is the one who gave her the necklace from the Allen Institute. Chisato finds this important, and Majima calls her an assassin. He knows about the Allen Institute and imitates Chisato's line. Chisato remembers promising Yoshimatsu at the Allen Institute, but didn't know about Allen. Majima leaves Chisato's house because of her partner. Takina forces him to shoot Majima, but he escapes by jumping over the fence. At the cafe, Chisato suddenly tells Mizuki that Majima visited her house, remembering her necklace. Mizuki asks Kurumi to tell Mika about her love life. Takina troubles Chisato by calling her 3 times, but they relocate to another safe house and return to work together. After work, Chisato wipes her gun clean, and Takina notices that it is not from DA. Chisato reveals that Yoshimatsu hasn't visited since that day, and Takina gives her a present from preschool. Chisato opens the present to find a dog keychain and puts it in her bag. She thanks Takina, who promises to go with her to her physical. Chisato is afraid of needles during her physical, and Takina laughs at her. The next day, Chisato is still afraid of needles. Hinagama finishes the hypodermic needle, and Chisato faints due to her heart disease. Hinagama prepares to immobilize Chisato's artificial heart, but refuses to call Takina while doing so. Takina becomes troubled when she gets ready in her uniform and goes to outside the cafe. Hinagama is ready to immobilize, and Yoshimatsu blames Mika for thinking too much. Takina rushes to save Chisato and rescue her in time. Hinagama targets Chisato's artificial heart to prevent her heart disease. Meanwhile, Takina rushes to the clinic and finds her. Hinagama completes her task and immobilizes Chisato, connecting her to devices. Takina tries to stop Hinagama. Hinagama shoots windows to escape the clinic. Takina needs to wake Chisato. Chisato remembers her past and wakes up late afternoon. LycoReco members are at the clinic. Dr. Yamagishi examines Chisato. Her heart device is damaged, recharge impossible. Hinagama used high voltage and the passcode changed. Chisato has 2 months left. Takina runs away from the clinic, but Chisato reassures her. They go home together. The next day, Chisato tries to stop Takina from ordering a parfait but orders instead. Mizuki warns Chisato. Kusunoki calls, wanting Chisato to return to DA. Chisato refuses due to her condition. Kusunoki gives her a camera to prevent info leaks. Chisato and Takina complete a mission. Chisato keeps her secret, and Takina handles the target. At the cafe, Mika and Kurumi discuss Chisato's heart. Takina overhears. Chisato views a photo on Kusunoki's camera. In Chisato's past, she competes in a game. Yoshimatsu buys her an artificial heart. Chisato calls him savior and takes a photo. In the present, Chisato remembers. She receives a gift from her savior, a gun, and a necklace. Takina wishes to return to DA to help Chisato. Majima has a new plan. Chisato and Takina spend a day off together, visiting a mall and aquarium. They promise to have fun and exchange gifts. Snow starts falling. They share a moment alone. After the credits, Yoshimatsu declines a call. Hinagama stops a terrorist. Yoshimatsu and Hinagama are ambushed. Majima captures Yoshimatsu, calling him Mr. Yoshi. Mizuki asks Kurumi to search Chisato's heart, and when Chisato opens the closet, Kurumi covers the computer. Mizuki says something weird, but Chisato sees nothing unusual and announces that the cafe will be closed for the day. Chisato has plans since Takina has returned to DA, and if Takina goes to LycoReco, Mizuki will talk to her. Mizuki browses a dating website on her phone, and Chisato looks over her shoulder. Kurumi's life is in danger in the country without Chisato, and she's leaving the country. Chisato should ask her to go to Germany with more board games, and Chisato and her teacher feel lonely, but Chisato invites Takina over one day. Meanwhile, Takina, Fuki, Sakura, and other like chorus are on the board. Kusunoki's assistant details that Majima was involved in the incident at the old radio tower 10 years ago. Sakura comments on Chisato wearing her first like chorus uniform as a kid, and Erika looks at the back of Takina. Kusunoki's assistant reveals Majima's location, and all like chorus are ordered to stand up. Kusunoki tells like chorus to find Majima and kill him. At night, Majima successfully captured Yoshimatsu and Hinagama at the previous day. He is looking for a picture of Chisato from 10 years ago and removes a USB, throwing it on the table. He sympathizes with Chisato, and Robata warned the Allen Institute not to betray him. Yoshimatsu takes responsibility for his mistake to Majima, and when he asked for 1,000 guns, Majima threw most of his beer over the table and points his gun at Yoshimatsu. Majima might want to kill him because of Allen and sits down after pointing his gun, saying Yoshimatsu is disgusting, looking at him like DA. Majima asks for the DA headquarters location. Chisato puts Kurumi's bag inside the taxi and tells Kurumi not to hide inside a suitcase, grabbing her cheek. Chisato and Mizuki fist bump, and Mizuki trusts Chisato to take care of things. The driver closes the window, and Mizuki heads to the airport. Chisato has a task to clean up, and in a taxi, Kurumi knows Takina is from DA. At a prison, Takina asks Majima's client about his target, and Kuboku. He moves too close to Takina, and she grabs his hand to ambush him. Takina was fired the previous year because many people were killed at once. He knows Allen, but not about the Allen Institute. Takina releases his hands and runs to leave the prison. Meanwhile, the management puts a notice on the front door to close the cafe. Chisato looks at her album pictures, and Mika closes the TV and starts cleaning. A dog named Riki recognizes Chisato, and Mika guesses that the cafe could be hired instead of using realtors. Chisato closes the album and goes inside the cafe again. Mika brews some coffee for Chisato. The girls of Like Chorus go to Majima's house, but he's disappeared. Fuki activates Alpha 1, all green. Majima connects to the TV from his laptop, and Kusunoki meets the real Majima but does not introduce herself. Kusunoki calls Majima a villain and knows he surpasses the structure. Majima thinks Machiavellianism is old-fashioned, and Kusunoki describes the peace of the world in Japan. He is worried about Kusunoki and believes they should not control Enkuboku, as 1,000 guns were obtained, the same as 10 years ago. Takina lets Majima go, and Fuki harasses her. Takina asks him where Yoshimatsu went, but neither of them is interested in Yoshimatsu. Majima disconnects the TV, and the DA headquarters obtains the final host. Next day, Ito is disappointed to find the cafe closed and promises to come back. Yamadera, Kitamura, Yoneoka, and Goto are also disappointed. Chisato is tired after talking and cheers herself up. At Enkuboku, many people are amazed, but Like Chorus trips Enkuboku. The announcer begins the Enkuboku completion ceremony countdown, featuring Governor Onuma. Chisato finds a rifle box but discovers it contains a kimono. She hugs Mika, saying her father is the best. Mika snaps a photo of Chisato in the kimono, commenting that she looks wonderful and like a grown woman. Chisato talks about her past at DA, the cafe, and Yoshimatsu. Mika realizes Yoshimatsu wants to talk. Meanwhile, DA's camera locates Majima's car, blocking every other route. Bravo, Charlie, Delta, and Alpha are already completed and activated. The girls of Lycoris prepare to ambush Majima, but Enkuboku is hijacked by Rabada. The control room is affected by the terrorist. Rabada prepares to hack the Enkuboku broadcast signal management system. At the same time, Mika asks Shinji for the last time as a commander. Chisato remembers Mika's promise and realizes Mika wasn't at fault for admiring Shinji. Chisato thanks him for deciding and resigns herself from her past as a Lycoris. She starts her job at the cafe, drawing herself, her teacher, and Mr. Savior as a kid. Mika apologizes and Chisato wants to turn around in her kimono. Mika is proud of his daughter. Meanwhile, the Enkuboku system begins to count down from 5 for the broadcast transmission. After reaching 0, Majima successfully hacks the Enkuboku system, displaying the same content on all devices simultaneously. Majima calls for peace in the country and shoots a window in the background. Kusunoki knows about the thousands of guns and believes citizens should not handle them. A man finds a plastic bag with a gun, and the police tell him to drop it. He raises his hands and shoots himself in the head instead. Enkuboku is successfully shut down from the hacker. An incoming comm from the headquarters asks Kusunoki about the meaning of radiata controlling information, which is confidential to the Lycoris. The headquarters asks her not to deploy Chisato. A civil defense siren signals a state of emergency, and Chisato turns on the TV. Mika receives an incoming call from Kusunoki, and Chisato is asked to come to the DA headquarters to kill Majima at Enkuboku. Mika sees Shinji tied up on Chisato's phone. Rabada's bomb will go off in an hour. Mika plans to call Kusunoki back later. Rabada watches over those people. Mika thinks it's a trap, but Chisato wants to see Yoshimatsu in person. Mika trusts Takina and Fuki to protect Enkuboku. Chisato changes into her Lycoris uniform, and the duo prepares to rescue Yoshimatsu. During the bus meeting, Erika is glad to see Takina back and wants to tell her something. Takina notices Chisato on Charlie 6, but Kusunoki says Chisato is not coming due to lost contact with the manager. Takina leaves the bus and tries to contact them. Rabada calls Chisato and Mika, who are in a car. Chisato recognizes Rabada's voice better than Walnut's, and Mika starts driving. Takina calls Chisato, but Chisato left her phone behind, and Mika did too. Takina cannot reach Chisato, so she decides to go to LycoReco. Before boarding the airplane, Mizuki enjoys and relaxes in the first-class lounge. Kurumi says she'll be going now and looks at the airplane, finding it fun. Mizuki bids Kurumi farewell for the last time and thanks her for the first-class ticket, although it is actually an economy ticket. Meanwhile, Takina arrives at LycoReco to find the cafe empty. She calls Chisato, whose phone vibrates until it falls. Takina realizes it's Chisato's phone. Kusunoki asks Takina to return to the bus in 30 minutes, but Takina recognizes Yoshimatsu. Kusunoki knows Majima's location is Enkuboku and wants to know more about him before he dies. Takina heads back to the bus. On the airplane, Kurumi researches Chisato's heart using VR. A flight attendant asks Kurumi to not use her device during takeoff, but Kurumi continues. She finds information about a girl from the Allen Institute and requests location data, but finds nothing useful at present. She requests data from 10 years ago and finds a girl and Dr. Yoshimatsu. She then finds information about an artificial heart from the previous year. After the flight, Kurumi waits for Mizuki, who is sleeping. She rushes to ask a flight attendant to wake Mizuki. Mizuki contacts her boyfriend in Vancouver, and Kurumi steals Mizuki's phone, revealing she has not been on a date yet. Kurumi connects to Takina through a wireless device and reveals that Alan created an improved version of the heart, which Yoshimatsu took. Takina tells Kurumi where Yoshimatsu is, but Kurumi is unsure. Mizuki is dismayed after pushing Kurumi's bag. Kurumi plans to contact Takina later. Takina takes care of Chisato's phone and analyzes it. A helicopter appears and Mizuki and Kurumi board it. Rabada spots Mika's car and prepares to hijack Enkuboku again for Majima's Act 2. Sakura follows the Lycoris out but takes the wrong way due to the strong winds. Kusunoki's assistant tells the Lycoris to regain control of the elevators. Kurumi contacts Takina again, revealing that Yoshimatsu is kidnapped by Majima and that Mika's car is heading to the radio tower. Takina thinks the radio tower is a trap. Sakura follows Takina, but Takina abandons the mission after Kurumi's request. Erika leaves for Takina's position but runs away after realizing her mistake. Fuki becomes aware of the abandoned mission and knows they cannot return to the DA. Takina makes a last-ditch effort after abandoning the mission and gets permission from Fuki to save Chisato. Takina leaves Enkuboku and heads to the radio tower. Team Alpha continues to ascend the building with Sakura discovering a dead body along the way. Meanwhile, Fuki activates the elevator with Team Alpha's help and Erika opens and fixes it. However, Rabada begins his hijack of Enkuboku, but the radiata system is unresponsive. Upon realizing his powers, he starts to switch between the people of Lycoris, attempting to control them. A Lycoris tries to destroy the camera but fails, and a nearby salaryman tries to shoot her with a gun given to him by Majima. Both the salaryman and the Lycoris are killed simultaneously, much to Majima's amusement as he watches the videos. Meanwhile, Kusunoki attempts to get a current status of Radiata, but realizes that she needs to reboot it. Majima reveals that 3,000 people have gone missing every year, and Abe watches him on the screen. However, the hijack of Enkuboku is disabled, and a robotic vacuum cleaner follows the people, eventually detonating itself and causing Kusunoki's mission to fail. Meanwhile, Chisato embarks on a mission alone, leaving Mika behind at the cafe with Shinji. Upon hearing a sound, he shoots Rabada's camera and presses the emergency button as Majima begins Act 3, but the button doesn't work. Chisato then uses an elevator to sneak past the terrorists, shooting them but ensuring they don't die. She fires at a door until it opens and jumps onto a pipe to shoot terrorists above. However, she falls from the pipe but saves herself and targets a terrorist with Mika's gun, causing the terrorist to fall. Chisato saves herself by holding onto a fence. Remembering the old radio tower from 10 years ago, she calls Yoshimatsu after getting inside. Chisato shoots another terrorist for revenge, and Yoshimatsu calls out to her after hearing her voice. However, Majima snaps his fingers to close the garage door, and Chisato protects Yoshimatsu from his shooting, causing Yoshimatsu to drop his phone. Chisato defends herself while shooting, but Yoshimatsu disappears, hidden by Majima. Chisato uses a storage container for cover. Majima snaps his fingers to control the TV news, shooting at Chisato, who dodges and turns off the TV. Using a flashlight, Chisato searches for Majima, but he attacks her until she collapses. Majima discusses Alan with Chisato, who covers her heart upon hearing a familiar sound. Majima kicks Chisato, leading to a struggle where Chisato grabs Majima's leg, smacks him, and steals his gun, but eventually collapses again. Chisato reloads her ammo and seeks Majima, forcing him to shoot. Yoshimatsu's phone vibrates, guiding Chisato in the right direction. Majima chases Chisato until Takina breaks through the garage door. Takina kicks Majima and Chisato shoots him in the stomach. Majima grabs Takina's hand to shoot her, but Chisato defends Takina, causing her bag to fall. The duo and Majima continue their mission. Chisato defends herself against Majima until her bag falls and she runs out of bullets. She reloads her ammo and continues to pursue Majima. In a dark room, Majima kicks Chisato twice but is eventually shot and tied up by Chisato and Takina, completing their mission. After battling Majima, Chisato asks Takina about the DA's future, and Takina suddenly quits. They find Yoshimatsu injured, and he asks Chisato to kill him. Takina reveals Yoshimatsu's collaboration with Majima and his artificial heart. Yoshimatsu tries to shoot himself, but Chisato and Takina stop him. Hinagama attacks, and Yoshimatsu helps Chisato and Takina fight her. A helicopter arrives, and Kurumi asks Chisato and Takina to ride it. Kurumi gives Chisato a USB to hack Enkuboku's control room. Mizuki trips and is singing while the other men talk to the commander. Team Alpha carries an injured Lycoris. Fuki, Sakura, and Erika fight terrorists and find the control room. Rabada shows the news about the Lycoris fighting terrorists. The Lilybell finds and kills some Lycoris. Kurumi controls the door to prevent Lilybell from entering. Chisato plugs in the USB and Kurumi hacks Rabada's location. Abe and the detective arrest Rabada, and Kurumi restores Radiata's functions. The Lilybell prepares for battle, and Sakura struggles to keep shooting. Captain Lilybell enters the control room, and Walnut hacks into the TV, announcing the Lycoris crisis. The citizens react positively to the news. The DA headquarters starts media information. Captain Lilybell battles Chisato, but the situation changes. Mizuki has trouble with the helicopter, and the DA bus goes back. Chisato contains all sorts of trouble and tells Takina not to call Kusunoki. Erika fills Takina's position, and Chisato plans to hire Fuki for LycoReco. The elevator arrives, and Majima tosses Chisato's bag. Fuji defends against Majima until the elevator closes. Takina tries to open the elevator, but fails. The DA headquarters decides to address the problem. Team Alpha recovers Sakura from her injury. Fuki quickly reports to the DA headquarters that Alpha 2 is injured and shows footage of Chisato and Majima. Fuki begs Sakura not to die and to wait for medics. Meanwhile, the Enkuboku power system is completely blacked out, setting the stage for the final battle between Chisato and Majima. Majima shuts down the Enkuboku power system due to the hackers. He then detonates a bomb using his phone set to explode within 1 hour. Chisato asks if the tower will explode, and Majima confirms it won't but will remain standing. Majima dismayed Chisato for being without a partner, and Chisato fires at him. Majima grabs Chisato's neck and right arm without firing, but Yoshimatsu gifted Majima's shirt, which is too expensive. Meanwhile, the DA requests Alpha 1 to use auxiliary power to descend, but Kusunoki retreats Alpha 1 for redraw. During the battle, Chisato strikes her knee and uses a headbutt, but Majima shoots her with an automatic gun. Kusunoki refuses Fuki's request to report on Chisato. Takina decides to save Chisato against Majima, while Fuki focuses on saving Sakura from dying. Takina heads up to Chisato and Majima's floor. Chisato dodges Majima's attacks, but Majima throws a grenade, causing Chisato to fall. Takina hears the explosives. Chisato fires at Majima but needs to take a break due to her heart malfunctioning. Meanwhile, in the car, Abe asks Rabada to do something, but Rabada refuses, stating it's forbidden. Chisato and Majima briefly discuss their motivations. Chisato asks Majima to stop the clock, but it's impossible once detonated. The citizens react to the Lycoris crisis and the Enkuboku completion ceremony. Majima puts a can at the top and throws it away. Chisato wonders if Majima is a villain, and Majima wonders if she's weak. At the old radio tower, Hinagama battles Mika, who shoots her. Mika confronts Shinji, who lies about his injury. Shinji picks up the Allen Institute necklace, and Mika reloads her ammo, murdering him. At the Enkuboku Tower, Chisato enjoys her favorite drink and reflects on her love for the cafe, the city, and her friends. As the battle continues, Majima's phone drops, and Chisato picks it up but misses it. The phone shows 1 minute left before the explosion. Takina fires at the locked door. Majima slips and shoots Chisato's shoulder. Majima steps on Chisato and Takina recalls her. Chisato grabs Majima's jacket and both almost fall off. Chisato shoots Majima several times in revenge for what happened 10 years ago, and both fall. Takina quickly catches Chisato and rescues her. After 0 seconds, Enkuboku uses fireworks displays. The firework display continues to show. In April of the next year, the citizens react to the Enkuboku completion ceremony. Sakura orders juice from a vending machine and tosses it to Fuki, embarrassing her. The Lycoris don't drink it, aware of the situation. Sakura reacts to the poster of the Lycoris crisis. Kusunoki reveals that 1,151 guns were found, with 211 retrieved. Itadori must take care of the Lilybell due to Majima. The DA headquarters found a gun in Sakura Gicho Block 3. A man holds the gun, breathes it, and drops it. An injured Majima picks up the gun and gives it to him. Meanwhile, at LycoReco, Mizuki turns off the TV to avoid annoying customers. Kurumi gives an order to Jin, confronting him about being called Silent Jin or Mr. Silent. Fuki and Sakura go to LycoReco, and Sakura orders the Chisato special. Yamadera, Kitamura, and Ito look at the Lycoris uniform and mistake Chisato. Abe looks for Lycoris, and Mitani becomes the chief's dog. Mizuki refuses to order the Chisato special and throws a knife at Chisato's picture. Sakura finally eats the Chisato special, and Mika reveals that Takina is out on a job. Takina gets out of an airplane, rides a taxi to the beach, and asks people for her location. She finds a person who walks in and plays hide-and-seek. The person runs away, and Takina captures them, finding it's Chisato. Chisato and Takina are happy but annoyed by their leg injuries. Meanwhile, LycoReco is surprised to find Chisato alive. Mika gives his phone to Fuki, who strictly leaves the cafe with Sakura when Chisato sees it. Mizuki replaces Chisato's drawing with a flower picture. At the restaurant, Takina and Chisato look at the sunset. Chisato gives a drink to Takina, who shows her Saori's photo. Chisato zooms in on the picture and finds it. Takina asks Chisato about disappearing from the hospital, and Chisato tells her story. After surgery, Chisato leaves the hospital, eats lunch on the train, and travels to the beach. Chisato and Takina look at the beach sunset. Takina gives a ring box to Chisato, but it contains a letter. Chisato opens the letter and finds it empty, and discovers the Allen Institute's necklace. At LycoReco, Mika reads Shinji's letter and removes it. At the beach, Chisato throws her necklace, hesitating. Takina didn't know she and Chisato carried Takina and fell. Chisato and Takina run again to Hawaii.